Welcome, my friends, to the St. Luminus blog, one which I think is really important because it's just asking a simple question. Is music for everybody? And I put this out last month on my social media, and I had to be very specific because some people thought I was talking about musical instruments, just being able to play a musical instrument. No, I just meant the general concept of music. Is music for everybody? And I got a lot of great responses for everyone. So let me share some of them with you. One of them from Twitter is absolutely. Someone else from Twitter, everybody, even plants and animals respond to it. How about on Facebook? Yes, music for the soul. Someone else just straight up says, yes, definitely. And, you know, I had my little unofficial poll on Twitter, and, you know, you can see the majority of people say, yes, music is for everybody. My guess is the people that said no probably were thinking of, like, ability to play musical instruments, which isn't quite what I meant. But it's just about the general concept of music. And one more thing that I want to share with you. How about this? Not that he's my favorite artist who ever occurred, but Michael Jackson, way back in the day, said something like this. Music is colorless. It's for everybody. It's for the world. It's for everybody to enjoy. Okay. So, let's get to the root of this question. Is music for everybody? Well, first, let me just educate some of you on how music works. And I mean recorded music. There's somebody who writes a song. The song gets recorded. And by the way, sometimes the artist isn't. For example, Britney Spears is an artist, but Britney doesn't write the songs for the most part. So those are two different people. Britney Spears, the artist, and whoever the name of the songwriter is. As for me, I'm both the artist and the songwriter. Okay. So I'm not talking about artists, I'm talking about songwriters. Okay, so songwriters write a song, it gets recorded. And now, here's the tricky part. The songwriters need to be paid every time that song is played in a public performance, radio or in a bar. So here's the deal. When you go out to a nightclub, a bar, someplace that plays music, that venue purchases a license to play all the songs you hear, like the jukeboxes, whatever. There is a license that must be purchased by the venue to play all those songs. Once, even a stadium, they have to purchase a BMI or ASCAP license. Those are the names of the two performing rights organizations, BMI and ASCAP. So they have to get the license. Once they go ahead and get the license, go for it. Anything that is a BMI or ASCAP song, go for it. Play it all. And these are all the hit songs, the stuff you love are BMI and ASCAP. There's some others like CSAC, but the big ones, BMI, ASCAP, go for it. Once you get the license, go for it. You want to play AC/DC? Go for it. Bruce Springsteen, Metallica, Britney Spears, whatever. Go for it. It's a free-for-all. It's because it's much easier that way because the songwriter can't go over and negotiate with every single venue and person who purchases a record to deal with licensing. You just have to have a blanket license so you can deal with everyone across the United States. And I'm being very specific now about the United States. So it's just an easy way. So now what happens and even radio stations, because a songwriter can't go to every single radio station and negotiate the contract for getting paid for that song to be played. That would be impossible. So the radio station just buy a license and say, hey, I played Metallica's song Seek and Destroy on this day. And then with that, Metallica, Hetfield and Ulrich really, they're the songwriter, so they will get paid a royalty every time the song is played. So somebody like Metallica gets played so many times across the country, you can imagine they get big time royalties just from songwriting. Okay, so this is how it works. So this way, in a certain sense, music gets played for everyone because you buy a license. You can go ahead and play as much as you want. Then those songwriters get paid royalty checks every quarter. All right. It's important you know this because now I'm going to get to this. Just recently, about a month and a half ago, and this became a little bit controversial in the music business world, and some of you may know this, the Donald Trump campaign went ahead and played Tom Petty's music. I don't know which one, but played a Tom Petty song. Tom Petty's estate, his family, went ahead and say, hey, we're getting our lawyer and giving a cease and desist letter. I don't want you playing those songs at your rally, which was at a some sort of stadium or small auditorium. So now this is me. In my mind, I'm thinking, well, it has nothing to do with his campaign, because the venue, the auditorium itself, should have a BMI or ASCAP license. So you can play whatever you want. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a license, you can pay it, and then the family will get the royalty. It doesn't really matter. Well, apparently it does, because according to one of the... yeah, by the way, this is how it all works, okay? This is how you hear music everywhere you go. Somebody pays a license for it, then it's a free-for-all. Go ahead, play all those songs, play it as many times as you want. Except for political rallies. This is different. Even though they're in a venue that has a BMI or ASCAP license to play all the music they want, if it's a political rally, that's not necessarily true. So I'm going to get this straight from BMI, and I have to thank my friend Wade Sutton for this. I love you, Wade. So here's the deal. From BMI, they have a license specifically for political rallies. It's called the Political Entities License. And it has a provision which allows BMI to exclude a song from the license if the songwriter or the songwriter's publisher objects to its use in a campaign. And if that occurs, they remove that particular song from the license, and it can no longer be associated with the campaign as part of this licensing agreement. Apparently, if the campaign instead relies on the venue license that I've been talking about for the last 5 minutes to cover its music use case, there's risk involved because the venue license isn't intended for political rallies. And one reason why they have this political entities license is because sometimes rallies are held out in like community fields or a park or in an airport hangar, and usually you don't have music there, so they don't have these licenses. You have to get one specifically to play the song there as part of this political rally. But as it turns out, because of this political entity's license, if someone like Tom Petty's family says, no, I don't want you playing that there, then the political campaign is not allowed to play it. So I've heard about this. So now I have a better understanding. And the first thing that came to me is, sadly, to find out, no. The answer to the question of this video is no, music is not for everybody. Because if the songwriter doesn't like the person, the political campaign doesn't like the person, thinks they're awful, thinks they're just disgusting, repugnant people, and the whole thing is repugnant, they can say, no, music is not for you because I don't like you. You're repugnant and everything you stand for is against everything I'm for. So you don't have the same politics as I do, so no, you can't listen to it. And indeed, it's not allowed to be played. So I find this to be something very sad. Now, my friend Wade, who helped with this and really got some great info, he has a different opinion. Of course, he thinks, no, I think the rights holders, the songwriters, should be allowed to say no. So Tom Petty should be allowed to say, no, I don't want you, Donald Trump, playing that. Likewise, Ted Nugent should be allowed to say, no, Joe Biden, I don't want you playing my song. You're not allowed to. That's his thought. I completely disagree with him on that because I think music really is... I'm probably naive, but I think music is for everybody. And it is really sad that we've let politics invade almost every aspect of our life, where even something like music, we can't even do that without having politics shoved down our throat. And we go so far as to go ahead and say, no, you are not allowed to listen to it, and I don't want it associated with you, and anyone that's around you, anyone who attends, I don't want them hearing the music. You're just not allowed to. I just don't like you, and I don't agree with your politics. So no. Again, I find this very disappointing, and personally for me, it breaks my heart to see this is how it is. So yes, I used to think music is for everybody, and apparently a lot of you do too. But so you know, the answer is no, music is not for everyone. You just have to get into a little middle school fight and say, I don't like you. You're so hateful and mean. I don't like you, so you can't have whatever I'm giving. It's a sad state. Now, for those of you who think I'm absolutely wrong and think, no, I think Tom Petty's family should go ahead and have a cease and desist and not allow Donald Trump's campaign to play because Donald Trump is such a jerk and a racist and blah, 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 blah. This is what I have to say. When you write music, most of you are really, you want a lot of people to listen to your music. For one thing, people like Tom Petty, his songs are so popular, the royalties that he was getting while alive and the royalties his family and his estate gets now are humongous. That family doesn't really have to work. They're getting so much money in royalties, and they will for the rest of their lives. And Tom did for the rest of his life. That's the sticking point I have. You write the music, it goes out everywhere. You can't control who listens to it. You can't control how they interpret it. You can't do anything about it. What my thinking is, if I'm Tom Petty and I don't like somebody like Donald Trump, I'm not going to stop him from using the song. What I will do is make a little publicity campaign and say, hey, I want all of you to know, especially my fans, I'm not about this guy. I do not support this guy for president, but I'm hoping that my music, because I wrote it to present a certain message about peace, love, and that music is for everybody. I hope everyone who listens and attends these rallies will hear my message clearly and understand what I'm really about. I'm hoping it will change some of you and get you to realize what I'm really about. But I can't stop you from listening, and I can't stop the campaign from listening to it. It would be wrong. So that's my opinion. I can't control who listens to my music. I can't control who interprets it. Neither can Tom. But guess what? Tom or his family and estate and other people, other bands have done the same thing. See, they want to rake in all that money and live the lifestyle that you watching this can't live, which is not going to a real job, just getting these automatic royalty checks every quarter for tens of thousands of dollars over and over and over again for the rest of their lives. They want that. Yet they want to control who listens to the music. You can't have both. You want that kind of freedom, you're going to have to deal. That's the price of having the freedom and being to live that life that a lot of people you don't like and you hate are going to be listening to your music and enjoying it. My opinion. Tell me what you guys think. This was very long, but it's a deep question, isn't it? Is music for everybody? The answer is no. And that really sucks. Hopefully we can grow up a little bit more. Thanks for listening, you guys.